Everyone, welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing on Saturday, the 8th of August, 2026. Beginning here with the Synoptic, we can see actually a bit of low pressure stoppage. It has one down to the south here and a slightly deeper low to the north there between the north of the UK. And that'll bring with it some more unsettled weather, albeit out to the west, affecting us and almost certainly not going to affect in the coming days. But we can see here a number of frontal systems will be weakening towards the south as the week progresses over Sunday afternoon and into Monday morning. We can expect to see this from reach almost our location here, but I imagine it's going to dissipate or be very, very weak feature products to us. But for today, still looking at relatively similar high pressure conditions, slightly lower. We can see on the sat pic, big area of clear air in the south of the UK, bit of wispy high cloud out to the west, and I think that's going to work its way in throughout the day. And so we might see a little bit of topper starting to appear. Those fronts very obvious there on the sat pic. Radar, as you imagine, nothing to concern us there, and therefore we won't bother looking at the prediction. Let's go straight to the obsidian this morning. There's 160 degrees, 4 knots, with 10 kilometer visibility, and the cloud detected pressure of 1020. Farnborough, they do not have a TAF. I just quickly refresh that. They've issued their TAF now. They're showing initially variable at 2 knots. Cabot could be coming between 10 and 180 degrees, 10 knots. So a fairly moderate southerly breeze today. Winds aloft, looking very similar to that, between 160 and 180 degrees, 10 knots at flying height south of us. To the north, very, very similar, 180 at 10. So consistently a southerly, they're looking at all the other spot winds as well. Windy, just reaffirming that on the surface wind, becoming fairly consistently west southerly there, and the Met Office suggesting an increase in strength up towards 10 knots, which is in line with the TAFs there. GFS giving us slightly warmer temperatures than yesterday, to 25 or even 26 degrees in the warmest part of the day, with a dew point, a very low dew point of possibly 3 or 4. The Lasham weather station appears to be down, so we'll go straight to the sky-side cross-section. Left hand, first of all, we get an excerpt from the potential flight distance. We can see an indication of reasonable soaring conditions in much of the country here. So I dare say there is some cross-country flying to be had, and we'll do. On the right-hand side here, though, the cross-section is certainly showing slightly poorer than we have been seeing other days this week, but still definitely a window. A late start around about midday, probably, with slightly weaker thermals, maybe 4 knot or 5 knot average, up to around 4.5, possibly 5,000 feet. That top cover we discussed there, evidenced here, thickening and becoming lower as the day goes on. Top SEO, the thermal map here, is showing blue thermals all throughout the day, but reasonably sort of blocked, maybe 1,600 meters, which is in line with that cross section, but not really a hint of cumulus everywhere on this chart here. Dare say we will get some, but I'm not quite sure where that will be. Okay, no times, very little change from yesterday. Still have obviously the TMZ and the Lark Hill and other danger areas active over to the west. Additionally, quite a few paragliding NOTAMs out around to the north of the danger areas there. Not a great deal else. Of course, if you are flying cross country, you're responsible for self-briefing. Okay, for the local briefing, looking at glider bookings, so the one K21 and the K13 for booked instructional flying, one K21 for the cash and the K13 for patrol lessons. Although I suspect we only have one of these today, so that we will have a spare K13 for much of the day. We've also got K18 and a K21 on the youth group from about 2 o'clock onwards, and there is plenty of single-seater availability. At the moment, we have 5 on the casual list with no instructor, so if there's around looking to help on one of the not so good cross-country days, that would be greatly appreciated. Two movements, well, one movement, I suppose, today. It's 727 departure on a maintenance check flight. Should be en route for about 2 hours. That's going out at supposedly 9 o'clock local time. And I'll be back in around 11:30. That is, of course, subject and very much likely to change. Just a reminder there, the Boeing wave season. Some guys left still, so get yourself booked in before those run out. Okay, so in summary, we have low pressure to the north and south, the cold front out to the west. Expecting blue thermals with potential for some top day, quite likely, in fact, and a moderate southerly flow. Given that and the awkward timings of the movement, we'll operate runway 27 with cables on the east side. That's, of course, subject to review as the day goes on. And of course, didn't land our taxi across the disused runway shown red there, and that's our airfield setup. Up into wind there. Winching from the east side on the grass area, towing from the west, with a launch point on the threshold there. If there is an increased number of gliders wanting to air tow for cross country, we just have to do our best, sort of almost gridding or queuing 1-6 here. And leaving plenty of room for tugs landing with the ropes tray just to the west. That's all for me this morning. We'll see you out there shortly. So make the most of the day. Keep safe. Thank you.